السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه ثم ما بعد. We will continue our class in going over the book regarding the answers by al-Sheikh Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wad'i rahimahullah on questions from women. The book is titled al-Ajwaba al-Wadi'iyya ala al-As'ila al-Nisa'iyya. Rahimahullah al-Sheikh شيخنا الشيخ مقبل بن هادي الوادعي رحمه الله تعالى وغفر له. May Allah have mercy on the Sheikh of our Sheikh, Sheikh Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wadi'i rahimahullah. And as we mentioned before, and as we have done in the previous classes, we will take some questions from the sisters. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, we'll answer questions from the sisters before continuing to go over the book. So we have a few questions from sisters regarding taking an obligatory bath or taking a bath in general, ghusl. So one sister, she asked, how do I perform the fast ghusl, and can I do it before or after showering? So we'd say to the sister, may Allah preserve her and protect her, and all the sisters and all the brothers who are listening in. So she referred to the fast ghusl, and the sister is referring, barakallahu fikum, to the obligatory ghusl, the obligatory bath. Yes, this is the fastest way to make a ghusl, to take a bath, the legislative bath, and it is to allow the water to run on the entire body, along with inhaling and rinsing the nose and rinsing the mouth. This would be sufficient to fulfill the obligation of ghusl, and also the recommended ghusl. This is the minimum ghusl, the fastest ghusl. Again, to rinse the nose and the mouth with water and let water run throughout the body. And this would be sufficient. Can it be done before or after showering? Yes, of course. The showering itself could be with the intent that one is taking a bath and is performing ghusl. It would suffice as the ghusl. Of course, the recommended ghusl, and there are recommended actions, and it is to start with the actions of wudu, and then run the water on the head first, and then on the right side, and then the left side. So that is recommended ghusl, the recommended legislative bath. However, the minimum required bath is, as we mentioned, to run the water on the body. The sister asked, can I redo a ghusl if my body is already wet because I felt that I made a mistake during doing the ghusl? Can I redo it when my body is already wet from the previous try? Sister, barakallahu fiki, you cannot really make a mistake in doing ghusl. Yes, you might make a mistake in recommended ghusl, in the recommended actions, such as, for example, like we said, that one starts with wudu. Perhaps you wash one part before the other, or other than that, my recommendation to the sister, especially from going through her questions, that maybe she is overthinking the matter of ghusl, and perhaps she has a little bit of, as the people now say, a little bit of waswasa, meaning that she has those doubts, continuous doubts regarding the performing of ghusl and the performing of purification and the likes. And my advice to the sister, if this is the case, is to ignore them. Just take perform the bath and move on, and don't think about it. Don't think about whether or not it is done correctly, because really there is no way to do it incorrectly. There is no way of doing it incorrectly. As long as you run the water on your body, that is sufficient, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And then the sister asked, do I have to wipe myself completely dry after ghusl? No, you don't. The Messenger ﷺ was given by one of his wives a towel to dry himself, and he did not use it, and rather he started using his hands, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to dry himself, to dry his body. by just running his hands on his wet body. So it is not obligatory to dry oneself after performing a ghusl, but there is no harm in doing so. So it is up to the person. And then the sister asked, if there are two reasons to make ghusl, would one be sufficient? Can I make one ghusl for the two reasons, or make one ghusl for each reason? No, you combine them. You perform one ghusl and it's sufficient for both reasons. Now, and then one sister asked, is it allowed for a woman to do ghusl or to do sunnah ghusl on Jumu'ah, even if she is on her period and didn't wait for her period to finish before performing ghusl? So this is a matter that some of the people of knowledge, they say it is recommended for her to do so. However, the stronger opinion, and this is what Sheikh bin Baz rahimahullah and other than him, they said that the ghusl on Jumu'ah is connected to attending Jumu'ah prayer, to attending Salat al-Jumu'ah. And of course, a woman who is on her menses, on her period, she is not going to go and attend Salat al-Jumu'ah. So from that perspective, Allah knows best, it is not actually recommended for her to perform ghusl on Jumu'ah. Some of the people of knowledge, they say that the ghusl, taking a bath on Jumu'ah, is connected to the day of Jumu'ah itself, the day of Friday itself, not the prayer of Jumu'ah. And this is the opinion of some of the people of knowledge. And those who said this opinion, they say that it is recommended for the women, even those who are not going to attend Salat al-Jumu'ah. They said even women who are on their menses, some of them, they said even a woman who is on her menses, that it is recommended for her to take a bath. And some of them went on to say it is obligatory. However, the stronger opinion is what we mentioned before. Wallahu a'lam. Now, another question from one of the sisters is it permissible for a woman, can a woman get a massage service from a blind man with a third person accompanying? We say absolutely not. Absolutely not, ya akhti. This is not allowed, my sister. This is not allowed. And a woman is not, a man is not allowed, a woman and a man, men and women who are not close relatives, unmarriable relatives, are not allowed to touch one another. And as for close relatives, then it should be limited to the extent of shaking hands and the likes of these things. As for getting a massage, this is not permissible. The only way that is permissible is between a husband and a wife. This is the only way that is possible and that is permissible. Other than that, it is not permissible. The hand of the Messenger ﷺ never touched a woman, never touched the hand of a woman. The hand, let alone, of course, a massage. Who is not the Messenger ﷺ, his hand never touched the hand of a woman who is not permissible for him, meaning none of his wives or close relatives, unmarriable relatives. His hand ﷺ never touched the hand of a woman. And when the woman came to give him the pledge, it was a verbal pledge. Unlike the men, the Messenger ﷺ would shake their hands. The women, the Messenger ﷺ never touched their hands, never shook their hands when they came to give him the pledge. So it is not permissible, absolutely not permissible, for a woman to get a massage from a man, other than her husband. This is the only man that a woman is allowed to get a massage from. And then a sister asked, how would we advise the older generation, our aging parents, to stick with the scholars who are upon correct manhaj and to stay away from deviated speakers? Wallahi, this is, of course, the sister started with Assalamu alaikum, and several of the sisters started with Assalamu alaikum, so we say to all of them, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we say this is a matter that, of course, should be done with a lot of wisdom and a lot of kindness and a lot of respect. And that is because advising one's parents should not be the same as advising one's children or one's friends. So a woman, a person in general, man or woman, advising his parents should be done in a very specific way. And likewise, a woman advising her husband, it should be done with a lot of respect and a lot of wisdom. she should not, a person towards his parents, and likewise the woman towards her husband, should not appear like a teacher, like someone who is teaching them, and someone who is superior to them, and trying to teach them, and trying to act as if she is better than them. And rather, barakallahu fikum, it could be done in many different ways. Some of the people of knowledge, they say one way that would be excellent and that would be good is to ask them questions, especially if they are wise enough to actually come to understand what is meant. Of course, and that is different. Barakallahu fikum. That is different from some parents to others are different. Some parents, they consider, they see their child, a woman or a man, that they see them to be students of knowledge and they want to learn their religion from them. Then in that case, there's no harm, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, such as Ibrahim alayhi salam said to his disbelieving father, Ya abati, my father, and he would advise him. Until his father, he said, he asked him and he told him to leave him alone. And so he stopped. Ibrahim alayhi salam, at that point, he stopped. So that is, we take lessons from that, as we heard several times from our Sheikh, al-Sheikh Abdurrahman al-Maysan, hafidhahullah, that we take lessons from that. Is that, first of all, we do advise the parents. We advise them with kindness and with love. My father, or my mother, one should say, perhaps you should not listen to so-and-so, because he seems to be, for example, with the Khawarij, with the Ikhwan Muslimin, the Muslim Brotherhood movement, or with Tabligh, or he appears to be with the Sufiya. Of course, if they don't know what the problems with those groups are, then perhaps that's where you need to start. Start by clarifying the evil and the falsehood that is with those groups, or in general, barakallahu fikum, if the speaker, say he is with those who water down the religion, and they say that they listen to anyone, طيب, start with that point. Start with that point, the danger of listening to anyone and watering down the religion. Start with that point, the danger of doing so. And then move on to mention that this speaker appears to listen to anyone and appears to be someone who waters down the religion, or the likes of thereof. Depending on what problem he has, clarify the problem of that issue that he has, and that deviation that he has. Start with clarifying it, and then move on to clarify that perhaps the speaker should not be listened to because of that. And if you find that your parents are willing to listen, then alhamdulillah, that is what is intended. If you find, barakallahu fikum, that they don't want to listen to that, they don't want to listen to you from in regards to this advice, and they tell you to stop talking about this so-and-so from those speakers, then at that time, and in that case, you will have to stop. Barakallahu fikum. You will have to stop. And of course, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide them to listen to the people of Ahl Sunnah, the people of Sunnah, and the people who are upon the Haqq. Naam. And I think with that, we would have covered all the questions that we received. Naam, alhamdulillah. So, barakallahu fikum. We will move to continue to go over the book that we have, which is, as we said, al-Fatawa al-Wadi'iyya على الأسئلة النسائية, the answers by al-Sheikh Muqbil al-Wad'i rahimahullah on questions from the women. So one sister asked, and I was mistaken, I thought we have one question left. Apparently it is, I think we have two questions left in regards to the chapter connected to seeking knowledge, and then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala we will move on to chapter of purification, questions related to matters of purity and purification. So, one sister asked, ماذا يفعل من أتى هو وأهله طلبا للعلم وأبواه لا يريدان أن يأخذ أهله معه وبعد أن أخذ أهله إذا أبواه يدعوان عليه وخاصة أمه فهل دعاؤها سيؤثر عليه وماذا يفعل؟ This sister, she asked, ماذا يفعل من أتى هو وأهله لطلب العلم? Someone, he traveled to seek knowledge along with his wife, with his family. وأبواه لا يريدان أن يأخذ أهله معه. His parents do not want him to take his family with him, his wife and children with him. وبعد أن أخذ أهله, after he actually did take his family, his wife and his children, إذا أبواه يدعوان عليه, his parents started supplicating and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala against him, supplicating against him. وخاصة أمه, and especially his mother. فهل دعاؤها سيؤثر عليه? Does her supplication affect him? وماذا يفعل? And what is he supposed to do? قال الشيخ رحمه الله, قال إن كانا يحتاجان إليه من أجل نفقة أو خدمة فليبدأ بهما. So pay attention to the line of answering by al-Sheikh rahimahullah, the line of answer, and how he rahimahullah, he differentiates between different things. And this is from his knowledge, because many people will rush to say no, that he should ignore his parents, or some will say no, he should obey his parents. Al-Sheikh rahimahullah was very precise in his answers in regards, especially this question. He said if they are in need of him, in need of his presence with them, such as that they need him to work and give them money, or they need his assistance with their matters, he said then he should start with them. He should go and assist them and be with them. وَاللَّهُ سَيُيَسِّرُ لَهُ مَنْ يُعَلِّمُهُ فِي بَلَدِهِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make ease for him someone who will teach him in his place, in his country. وَإِنْ كَانَا جَاهِلَيْنِ لَا يَعْرِفَانِ الدِّينِ أو لا يحبان الدين وهما مستغنيان فلا يلزم طاعتهما ولا يضرك دعاؤهما وتحسن إليهم. He said if they were ignorant, for example, and they don't know their religion, or perhaps they don't love the matter of seeking knowledge, and they are not in need of your presence, then you do not have to obey them. And their supplication against you does not harm you, but rather be good towards them. قال وهكذا لو خفت على أمك أن تبكي حتى يتغير نظرها وتعمى فتبقى عندها. He said likewise, if you fear that your mother becomes her crying and her sadness could affect her health, such as for example her vision and the likes, he said then you remain with her. أو خفت على أبيك أن يجن ويتغير عقله من أجل ذهابك لأن قلب الأب وكذلك الأم يكون معلقا بالولد فإذا خفت من هذا أو ذاك فعليك أن تحتسب وتصبر عندهم ونسأل الله أن يسهل أمرك. So the Shaykh rahimahullah, he said likewise, if you fear for your father that you leaving and going to seek knowledge is going to affect him, whether his mental state or other than that, barakallahu fikum, then he said you should stay with them, because sometimes the child leaving and being far away from his parents, even if he is an adult child, it sometimes has a great deal of effect on his parents. So in this case, you should actually, he said, you should stay with them, and you should remain patient and hopeful for the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the knowledge, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make ease for you in your matter. So the Shaykh rahimahullah, his answer, like we said, barakallahu fikum, is very precise in regards to this matter. And with the people of knowledge, they say in regards to obedience to the parents and in regards to being good to the parents, then this is a matter that is connected with whether or not there is a reason or there is a need for what they ask for, and whether or not it harms the person. طيب, for example, they want the person not to travel and seek knowledge because they are in need of his presence. They need him to be with them because they are, for example, they are elder, they are old, and they need assistance. They need someone to buy their things and to perhaps work and seek the provision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and give them from the provision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then in that case, the person is not allowed to travel and to seek knowledge and leave his parents in that state. Whereas some parents, they want to control their children. For example, they want to control them. They want to decide for them where to go, where to study, where not to study, what to do, and for no actual legitimate reason. And if there is a reason, then one should obey them. If there is a religious reason, such as, for example, they worry that he's going with the Khawarij, or he's going with people falsehood and the likes, then they should advise him against going. And in that case, it is obligatory upon him, upon the child, male or female, to obey their parents in that case. Whereas, barakallahu feekum, may Allah bless you and protect you, if the parents, for example, they don't want him to go to a specific place out of fear for him, or out of fear for problems that they have, they need his assistance, they need his the likes, then he should obey them. Whereas if this is not the case, then he does not have to obey them, and rather he should do that which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in regards to that. And in addition, I mentioned male or female, a woman or a man. Of course, if it is a woman and her husband is traveling, if you are a woman and your husband is traveling either to seek knowledge or whatever other reason, and your parents tell you that they want you to stay, then of course you obey your husband, you don't obey your parents in that case, because obedience of the woman, the person who is most deserving of obedience of a woman, is her husband. نعم. ثم سألت هذا سؤال أتى للشيخ: هل يمكن لكم يا شيخ جزاكم الله خيرا أن تنصحنا ببرنامج ومراحل تطبقها الأخت في بيتها حتى تصل إلى مستوى عال من العلم? So the sister asked, "Oh Sheikh, can you advise us and give us a program with different levels that a sister can follow, so that she would reach a high level in knowledge, she would become a strong student of knowledge and a strong person of knowledge?" So al-Sheikh rahimahullah قال الذي ننصح به هو التدرج في العلم. What we advise her is to take it in steps, to take knowledge in steps. وقراءة الكتب السهلة, and to read the easy books. فإنها تساعد على فهم الكتب الكثيرة, because the easy books, they help the person in studying and understanding many different books afterwards, even the longer books. قال من أمثلة ذلك, examples of that: رياض الصالحين, فتح المجيد شرح كتاب التوحيد, بلوغ المرام للحافظ ابن حجر rahimahullah. So he mentioned some of those books. قال هذا إذا كانت تفهم هذا, if she is able to understand that. وإن لم تكن تفهمه, هناك كتاب صغير أعرفه لأخينا الفاضل الشيخ محمد بن عبد الوهاب اليمني الوصابي. So he said, if this is not the case, she is not able to understand. Even the book Fath al-Majid does require a little bit of knowledge beforehand. If the person is not even at that level, then he advised with the book of al-Sheikh al-Allama Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab al-Wasabi rahimahullah, who passed away a few years ago. قال واسمه القول المفيد في أدلة التوحيد. The name of the book, القول المفيد في أدلة التوحيد. The beneficial words in regards to the proofs of Tawheed, of singling out Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال كتاب سهل جدا. This is an easy book. ويمكن أن تقرأ في السنة لابن أبي عاصم, and likewise she can read from the book السنة لابن أبي عاصم, والسنة للمروزي محمد بن نصر المروزي, والسنة لعبد الله بن أحمد بن حنبل. Those are all books of Aqidah and the methodology of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. قال المهم ينبغي لها أن تنظم وقتها. What is important for her is to manage her time. وألا تكثر الدروس التي تدرسها, and that she should not make the classes that she's studying and the books that she's studying many, meaning that she should concentrate on one thing. فإنها ربما لا تهضمها, because perhaps she's not able to understand so many different sciences and types of knowledge and so many different books at the same time. ويصير حالها كما قيل, and her situation ends up being as is said: ومشتت العزمات ينفق عمره حيران لا ظفر ولا إخفاق. And the person who has diligence in regards to many different things, is diligent in attaining many different things and trying to attain many different things, he spends his life in kind of in doubt, in being not, as the poet said, he is not attaining what he's trying to attain, nor is he failing at it. He's in between. He's kind of in doubt. He's not gaining anything completely, but at the same time he's not failing at anything at the same time. قال كما أننا ننصح بالاتصال إلى العلماء الأفاضل, and likewise we recommend that she gets in touch with noble scholars, with the people of knowledge. إذا أشكل عليكن شيء, if anything became difficult for you. وكذلك أيضا بكتابة الفوائد, and also to write down the benefits. وهذا مهم جدا يا أخوات. This is something that is very important, my sisters, to actually, when you study, you take this matter of studying and seeking knowledge seriously. You sit down, you put the book that you're studying with you, you have your notebook, you listen to the classes, you take notes. Even if you're doing that, even if you're studying at home. قال وإن تيسر للمرأة مع زوجها أن ترحل إلى مراكز العلم باليمن فننصحها بذلك والله المستعان. And if it is possible for the sister to travel with her husband to the different places of knowledge in Yemen, then we recommend that for her. نعم. However, barakallahu fikum, this was at his time. As for today, this is a different matter. Barakallahu fikum. The matter of going and seeking knowledge in Yemen, I don't know what the situation is and whether or not it is possible now. So this is something that needs to be, this was an answer at the time of al-Sheikh Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wad'i rahimahullah. I don't know what the situation is now, whether or not it is safe, whether or not it is recommended for the sisters to go and seek knowledge in Yemen. Allah knows best. Allahu a'lam. Naam. And then the Sheikh rahimahullah. So I was wrong. There's one more question. It is a long question. Perhaps inshallah we will delay it until we will take it, inshallah. We will take it. ما هي خصائص المرأة السلفية? What are the characteristics of the Salafi woman? Beautiful question. How does a woman know that she is a Salafi woman? How does a person know that this woman is a Salafi woman? قال الشيخ السؤال عريض وطويل نلم بما يسر الله سبحانه وتعالى. He said this is a very long and a very wide question. And we will mention that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us and makes easy for us. قال خصائص المرأة السلفية أنها تتمسك بكتاب الله. She holds on to the book of Allah. وبسنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and holds on to the sunnah, to the way of the messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم. في حدود ما تستطيع على فهم السلف الصالح. Based upon what she is able to, and based upon the understanding of the righteous predecessors. وينبغي أيضا أن تتعامل مع المسلمين معاملة طيبة. And she must deal with the Muslims in a good way. بل ومع الكافرين, even with the disbelievers. فإن الله عز وجل يقول في كتابه الكريم, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in his noble book, وقولوا للناس حسنا, and say to the people good speech. ويقول إن الله يأمركم أن تؤدوا الأمانات إلى أهلها. Allah commands you that you fulfill the trust and give the trust to those whom they are due. ويقول سبحانه يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا فالله أولى بهما فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا وإن تلوا أو تعرضوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا. So he mentioned this ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to be just in regards to and to say that the truth and to testify upon the truth even if it is against our own selves, our parents, our close relatives, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us not to follow the desire and not to twist and turn and go away from righteousness and being upon righteousness and upon truthfulness, because this is in general what the points that this ayah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us with. قال كما أنه يجب عليها أن تلتزم باللباس الإسلامي, and it is obligatory upon her to dress properly with the Islamic clothes. وأن تبتعد عن التشبه بأعداء الإسلام, and to be far away from imitating the enemies of Islam. روى الإمام أحمد في مسنده من حديث عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنهما أنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من تشبه بقوم فهو منهم. So the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said in the meaning of the hadith, whomsoever imitates a people then he is from them. ورب العزة يقول في كتابه في شأن اللباس أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن ذلك أدنى أن يعرفن فلا يؤذين. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in regards to the clothes, in the meaning of the ayah, O our Prophet, say to your wives, your daughters, and the wives or the women of the believers, that they should lower upon them from their jalabib, from their outer garments. This is better that they are known, so they will not be harmed. وروى الترمذي في جامعه من حديث عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه أنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم المرأة عورة فإذا خرجت استشرفها الشيطان. Likewise, the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said المرأة, the woman, is a awrah, is all all needs should be hidden, and when she comes out, the shaitan beautifies her. وَنَنصَحُهَا أَن تُحْسِنَ إِلَى زَوْجِهَا إِذَا أَرَادَتِ الْحَيَاةَ السَّعِيدَةَ. And we command her and advise her to be good to her husband if she wants a happy life. فإن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إذا دعا الرجل امرأته إلى فراشه فأبت لعنتها الملائكة. The Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said in the meaning of the hadith that if a man calls his wife to his bed and she refuses, then the angels will curse her. وفي صحيح مسلم إلا كان الذي في السماء ساخطا عليها, except that the one who is above the heavens, in another narration, except that the one who is above the heavens will be angry with her. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be angry with her. قال وهكذا أيضا تقوم برعاية أبنائها رعاية إسلامية. And likewise she should pay attention to her children and raise them in an Islamic way. فقد روى البخاري ومسلم في صحيحيهما من حديث عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنهما أنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. The Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said in the meaning of the hadith, all of you are trusted and all of you will be asked about your trusts. وذكر المرأة, and then he mentioned the woman, والمرأة راعية في بيت زوجها ومسؤولة عن رعيتها. And he mentioned the woman, and he said, and the woman is trusted in the house of her husband, and she will be questioned about her trust. وفي الصحيحين من حديث معقل بن يسار رضي الله عنه أنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما من عبد يسترعيه الله رعية فلم يحطها بنصيحة إلا لم يجد رائحة الجنة. So the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said in the meaning of this hadith that there is no servant of Allah whom Allah puts him in charge of any people, and he is not good towards them except that he will not find the essence of the paradise. فلا ينبغي لها أو فلا ينبغي أن يشغلها أو تشغلها الدعوة عن تربية أبنائها. So calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the matter of calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, should not keep her busy from raising her children. كما أنه ينبغي لها أن ترضى بما حكم الله في تفضيل الرجل على المرأة. And likewise, she should be pleased with that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the men superior over the women. بقوله سبحانه وتعالى, with the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حفظ الله واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن فإن طعنكم فلا تبغوا عليهن سبيلا. Referring to the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the men are in charge of the women in that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave superiority to the men over the women. Naam. And from that which they spend from their wealth, to the end of the meaning of the ayah. And قال وفي الصحيحين من حديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said, استوصوا بالنساء خيرا, be good towards the women, فإنهن خلقن من ضلع, they were created from the limb. وإن أعوج ما في الضلع أعلاه, and the most that is curved from it is the highest part of it. فإن ذهبت تقيمه كسرته. This is the rib, عفوا, the rib. If you come to straighten it, you break it. وإن تركته لم يزل به عوج. And if you leave it as it is, it continues to have a curve in it. يعني the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم is commanding the men and advising the men to remain patient with the women because they have shortcomings. They have their shortcomings and they fall short in regards to certain things. So if the person wanted to always correct those shortcomings, then he breaks it. And breaking her, meaning divorcing her. So meaning that a person will never be able to stay with a woman. Now, whereas the person should remain patient. قال وليس معناه أنه يستعبدها. He said this does not mean that she is a slave to him or that she is his servant. فالرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول كما في جامع الترمذي. The Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, rather, he says, as in Jami' al-Tirmidhi, استوصوا بالنساء خيرا, be good towards the women, فإنما هن عوان عندكم لا تملكون منهن غير ذلك, because they are confined with you, and this is the only thing that you have over them. ألا وإن لكم على نسائكم حقا, you have rights over your women. ألا وإن لنسائكم عليكم حقا, and your women, they have rights over you. ألا فحقكم عليهن ألا يطئن فراشكم من تكرهون, and your right over them is that they do not that they protect your honor. وَلَا يَأْذَنَّ فِي بُيُوتِكُمْ لِمَنْ تَكْرَهُونَ. And likewise, they do not permit anyone to enter into your houses except that which you approve of. وَحَقُّهُنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ. And your right over them. أَن تُحْسِنُوا إِلَيْهِنَّ فِي طَعَامِهِنَّ وَكُسْوَتِهِنَّ. That you are good towards them in regards to their food and their clothes. قال وفي السنن ومسند أحمد من حديث معاوية بن حيدر أن رجلا قال يا رسول الله ما حق زوج أحدنا علينا أو ما حق زوج أحدنا عليه. The Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم was asked, O Messenger of Allah, what is the right of one's spouse, one's wife over him? قال أن تطعمها إذا طعمت. He said that you feed her when you eat. وتكسوها إذا اكتسيت. And that you give her clothes when you have clothes. ولا تضرب الوجه. You should never hit on the face. ولا تقبح. Nor should you say bad things, especially regarding the face and regarding her يعني. ولا تهجر إلا في البيت. And you do not leave her. If there is a need that you want to discipline, if a man wants to discipline his wife, he does not leave her except that she is in the house and he stays in the house. فينبغي أن قال الشيخ رحمه الله فينبغي أن نتعاون جميعا على الخير. It is upon us to aid one another upon good. والرجل يعامل امرأته معاملة إسلامية. And it is upon the man to deal with his wife in an Islamic way. ويعينها على العلم. And to assist her and aid her upon seeking knowledge. وعلى الدعوة إلى الله. And to call to Allah. والمرأة تعاون زوجها وتعينه على العلم والدعوة إلى الله. And likewise the woman, she assists her husband and she in regards to seeking knowledge and in calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وعلى حسن التدبير لما في البيت. Also to do the right things in regards to the house, to take care of the house. فإن الله عز وجل يقول كما سمعتم وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the meaning of the ayah, and assist and aid one another upon righteousness and piety, and do not assist one another upon sin and transgression. Wallahu al-musta'an. And we seek the help and the aid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وبهذا كما قلنا نكون قد انتهينا من ما ذكره المصنف رحمه الله فيما يتعلق بطلب العلم. So with that we would have concluded that which the author rahimahullah mentioned in regards to fatawa, answers on questions regarding seeking knowledge. And then after that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we will start with answers regarding the matters of purity and impurity and purification and the likes. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.